Last week, we of course did chapter 6. But we talked about the first 6 seal judgments. And of course the seals are the seals of the scroll that we talked about in chapter 5. We talked about how each one of those seal judgments are representative of something of God's judgment and destruction and punishment against man. And we come to chapter 7, and you would think that since chapter 6 ended with seal number 6, that chapter 7 would start out with seal number 7. But it doesn't. We don't jump back into the seal judgments until chapter 8. In 8:1, we talk about the 7th seal. My page is flying up here. But we have kind of a segue or a parentheses, if you will, on the seal judgments. And it is this way for a purpose, and it is a literal separation of the first 6 seal judgments and the 7th seal. We'll see this again when we get to the trumpets in the last part of 8 and first part of 9. We have the same thing. We have the first 6 seal judgments, and then we'll have a break before we get to the 7th trumpet, rather, not seal, trumpet. So, chapter 7, verse 1. And after these things I saw 4 angels standing on the 4 corners of the earth, holding the 4 winds of the earth, that the wind should not blow on the earth, nor on the sea, nor on any tree. God's destruction and punishment will be held back for a while, for just a short time. God's going to withhold His judgment upon the earth. And what it's talking here about the 4 winds and the 4 corners of the earth, it's talking about the 4 corners of a compass. Not that the earth is not flat. Okay, it's not talking about the literal 4 corners of the earth, but it's talking about 4 corners of the compass, meaning the whole world. Okay, where these judgments and the 6th seal we talked about last week was just crazy. Okay, with the whole earth moving and changing and possibly actually turning or shifting on its axis. After that, the world gets kind of a break for a little while. And God holds this punishment back. Why? That's what we're going to talk about. Verse 2. Verses 2 and 3. And I saw another angel ascending from the east, having the seal of the living God. And he cried with a loud voice to the 4 angels, to whom it was given to hurt the earth and the sea, saying, Hurt not the earth, neither the sea, nor the trees, till we have sealed the servants of our God in their foreheads. God identifies His own. He identifies those that belong to Him. He places His seal of ownership on His children, guaranteeing protection. Let me give you an example. This is going to sound kind of almost degrading on Christians to a point, but I don't intend it that way. But this is what it is. It's like a cattle prod. Not a cattle prod, but a cattle identifier. What is it? Wrangling iron. Yeah, there you go. It's got that symbol, and like every owner has their own symbol, and they put it in the fire, and it gets real hot, and they stick it to the cow's backside, and it burns their symbol into that cow. So when the cows are out roaming and they're mixing with other people's cows, they're easily identified. Okay, that's exactly what this is. The Christians or God's children here, they're going to be out in the middle of this lost world, of these lost people, And they're going to be easily identified because of their seal. Now, what we don't know for sure is who's going to be able to see it. Okay, again, remember, this is during the tribulation period. And depending upon your viewpoint of when the rapture is going to happen, or for that case, if the rapture is going to happen, depends upon who you think is going to get the seal. We'll talk about that in just a minute when we get to 4 through 8. But we don't know who exactly is going to be able to see it. Okay, we don't know if everybody's going to be able to see the seal that's on their forehead, which I'm not sure if it talks about. Yeah, right there in verse 3, it talks about the seal being on their forehead. We don't know if everybody's going to be able to see it. We don't know if there's a popular series about the tribulation called Left Behind series. And that series, and this is a Bible theory, that fellow Christians will be able to see the mark on the forehead, or the seal on the forehead. But that's it. And a lot of people don't see it. And that's how, when Christians are interacting with each other, and they're having to be kind of secretive about it because of the persecution, they'll be able to point each other out, but not necessarily easy identifiable by the world. So that's one theory. The other theory is that you'll be able to see it yourself, but that's it, like in a mirror. The other theory is that nobody can see it. You can't even see it. You just know that it's there. Okay? So, take your pick. The seal will be counterfeited by the Antichrist. We'll talk about this more, I believe, once we get to chapter 13, we'll talk about the mark of the beast. Okay, that's what that is. If some of you have heard of that phrase, the mark of the beast, that's what it is. It's a counterfeit of the seal of God. Okay? We'll see this significance of this seal again when we start talking about some of these other judgments. Some of the trumpet judgments in particular, like the locusts. We'll see how these locusts are going around and they're tormenting the people that are left on earth, and they only torment people that aren't sealed by God. Okay, so we'll see how the seals, it's not just there to be there. There is a significant point and a practical application, I guess, for this seal being on their head. Okay? Alright, 4 through 8. I never thought I would lump 4 verses together, but these 4 verses really are talking about the same thing. They're just kind of split up. Who are the sealed? Okay, we're going to read the verses and then we'll talk about the different theories. Alright, verse 4. And I heard the number of them which were sealed. And they were sealed 144,000 of all the tribes of the children of Israel. Of the tribe of Judah were sealed 12,000. Of the tribe of Reuben were sealed 12,000. Of the tribe of Gad were sealed 12,000. Of the tribe of Asher were sealed 12,000. Of the tribe of Naphtali were sealed 12,000. Of the tribe of Manasseh were sealed 12,000. Of the tribe of Simeon were sealed 12,000. Of the tribe of Levi were sealed 12,000. Of the tribe of Isher were sealed 12,000. Of the tribe of Zebulun were sealed 12,000. Of the tribe of Joseph were sealed 12,000. Of the tribe of Benjamin were sealed 12,000. 12 different tribes, all having 12,000 sealed. So, who are they? A lot of different theories about this. This is one of those things where it could be a couple of these, but probably not. It's probably just one of them. And which one? I'll leave that up to you to decide. If you want to know my opinion, ask me later. And I'll tell you which one I think is right. But nevertheless, these are different opinions. Okay, these are representatives of all of the saved. All of history, all of God's people These are the saved.